youtube.com/openupyourmind101.
1212, check 1212. This is Professor Griff of the legendary hip-hop, politically hip-hop, socially conscious hip-hop group Public Enemy. We're serious about the minds of the listeners, the people in general, whether you local or global, doesn't matter. All right? This is where the place where serious minds meet serious minds, so we can elevate the serious minds of the human family. We're keeping our fingers on the pulse of the people here in the wilderness of North America and throughout the Black African diaspora and all the other places on the globe where we find our people. From the rip, I'd like to thank and give thanks and give a shout out to all those that make this show possible, even with the ever-changing schedule and format. Still want to thank the people that are rolling with the punches. And just keep in mind, desperate times call for desperate measures. We just got to roll with the punches and make it happen. Shout out to Deanna Dawn from Grown Girl Production. All right, really appreciate you and all the work that you do and continue to do. Of course, Kiwa from Full Circle Recruiting. Really appreciate her for the work that she does. Of course, as always, Tasha from Posh Tosh Creations. Thank you for all the work that you do. And, of course, all of the good people over there at Like Minds. Thank you all very much. Just the amount of work that one person can't do. I want to thank all of those people. And definitely the Millennium Music Media Group. All right. Dominique, Ron, Paul, Peter, Sadell, all the rest of the brothers and sisters over there at Millennium. All right. So Millennium and Like Minds will be launching this year, brothers and sisters. So stay tuned and keep your antennas up for those particular ventures and those groups of people that's bringing us a social media site where we can kind of meet a crystal clear, positive vibration environment that we can kind of come together and meet, do business, break bread, network over there at Like Minds, Like Mine. And of course, the Millennium Group, Millennium Music Media Group, there to facilitate our musical and social, not on social media, reference to the music, but just brothers and sisters that are there that's creating this environment and having a way for the artists to express themselves via their music without getting beat in the process. Y'all know the music industry is upside down, all right? And no one's really getting paid. And shout out to Ron, shout out to Paul, shout out to Dominique. Paul dropped something on us and says, we're going to operate from the bottom up and we're going to build with the artists and we're going to work our way to the top as opposed to the money trickling down. The money's going to trickle up so the artists can get paid. And we're going to make that happen over there at Millennium. So shout out to the Millennium Music Media Group. All right, today is going to be a very trying show, but a very necessary show that we have to do. I would rather have videotaped this, but it just has to happen the way it's going to happen. But we're going to talk about Prince. We're going to talk about the Purple Rain. We're going to talk about aspects of these people saying the rain is over. We're going to talk about musicology. And we're going to talk about a very perplexing question that hit me and hit my phone from since that Thursday that he passed on into the ancestral realm. And the question that I was asked over and over and over and over again is, Prince, was he murdered in an Illuminati blood sacrifice or a satanic ritual? Well, we're going to put that out there and we're going to talk about that thing. And we're going to kind of go over what has to happen and what's the precursor to that in order for us to even digest that kind of idea of whether or not Prince was murdered in that way, dealing with this whole idea of the Illuminati's blood sacrifice. But so thank you all for joining us here at Serious Minds Radio. And of course, I'm your host, Professor Griff, and we're going to discuss, the Purple Rain, musicology, and the Illuminati blood sacrifice in reference to Prince and everything that's surrounding. Because I've asked several people to call in, not sure if they had the actual time to call in. So we're just going to go over some things. And as we go over some things, I told them to text me to let me know if they can show up in the call queue and if they can come on and say a few words. Now, listen, a lot of people are still grieving. A lot of people are just in disbelief. They just cannot believe that this has actually happened. And I'm going to be honest with you, from a personal standpoint, having met the brother and talked to the brother, it's hard for me to even process. And right when I got to the point where I began to accept the fact and process it, they turned around and cremated the man. I was like, damn. So even if the toxicology support comes back, and even if they find some people that are at fault, I don't care if it's Atlanta, New York, or Illinois, or Minnesota, or people around them, or not around them, or whatever, bodies burned up. So what more testing can be done in reference to the situation? And I think that was the thing that kind of sent me over the top. The fact that they cremated him. And as I heard through very reliable sources, that this is what he wanted. But it felt kind of bad that I had to kind of find out on the news. And then having to call people to confirm that. And then, yes, and then they said yes. So I was just kind of wrestling with that. But all of the unanswered questions surrounding Prince's death and legacy, I think we need to talk about. And the circumstances surrounding the diverted plane unscheduling landing made by his jet a few days before they found him dead always raises a red flag. Questions began to emerge about the stop and the short hospital visit. The fact that they didn't have a room to put him in, and whether or not he got proper care. Why did the plane stop 48 minutes outside of his destination? Prince's death raises a number of questions about his prior health. And if we look into the health of this particular individual, for a man that was that deep as far as consciousness is concerned, and deeply rooted in the particular religion that he was in, the whole idea of him being unhealthy just kind of didn't sit right with me. And then the whole idea of TMZ, everyone's citing TMZ sources. I'm like, there we go with the alphabet boys again, TMZ. There's a few, acronyms that people came up with that references probably the TMZ. We'll talk about a little bit later on. Y'all don't want to hear mine. Citing the TMZ says it's citing unidentified sources reporting that Prince was treated for an overdose of Percocet while traveling home from concerts in Atlanta last week. And then I've read some information that people have sent me from overseas, and Dr. D says he's been giving Prince drugs for a long time to the tune of $20,000 to $40,000 a pop. And it's difficult for me to believe that. And I notice every time when we lose one of our greats, it's always having something to do and centered around drugs. This one overdosed. Jimi Hendrix overdosing. That one overdosing. Michael overdosing. Prince now overdosing. And stop that, man. Stop that. It's hard for me to wrap my brain, especially around this one, especially around Prince. So after the autopsy, I guess when the toxicology report comes back, we will see. So more questions swirl around Prince's cause of death. The result of the autopsy likely won't be released for several weeks now, and it leaves us in this kind of gray area. It leaves us in limbo to figure out what really happened to Prince. I've watched several YouTube clips, and I've heard what few people had to say in reference to Prince's death. I've heard everything from the outlandish drug thing. I heard everything from the outlandish story about the Illuminati because he started talking about chemtrails, so they dogged him. I've heard the story about he recently got his master's back, so now that he's gotten his master's back, he's going to go and go into his vault now and make the kind of music that he wants to make. And he's going to re-release some stuff. And now that they don't have a hold of his masters, now he can be the Prince that he's always wanted to be. So I'm launching the chat room right now if you want to enter into this particular discussion. I'm not presenting myself like I'm the authority on it. All right, keep this in mind. We are having a discussion. As you know, the people out there that know me know that I kind of sit back and wait and get in. I want to wait to get in conversations that I need to have with certain people around the country. I need to pull in certain media sources, and I just need a little bit more information. I wanted to have this show because I wanted to be able to talk to the people. So maybe if y'all are going through what I'm going through, maybe we can lean on one another's shoulder and we can have this discussion tonight. I'm going to attempt to play, and I hope I don't shock y'all, some of Professor Griff's favorite Princess songs. And anytime you say you got some favorite Princess songs, yeah, you about to tap into a different side of you as an individual, man, because some of that stuff was on some old. Yeah, I'm talking about the era when he was parading around with his butt cheeks out and all that kind of stuff. So, and just keep in mind, when I say things like that, it's not in mockery of the brother, simply because, as y'all know, I'd rather deal with the lighter side of things because there are too many things on the flip side that we could actually talk about. So, the shocking symbolism surrounding Prince's death. Was the music idol murdered in an Illuminati blood sacrifice or satanic ritual? All that we're going to discuss tonight here on Serious Minds Radio. And of course, we are here. I have to stop saying every Tuesday because we're not going to be here every Tuesday. And it's not even going to be on Tuesday. And as y'all know, if you've read my book, The Psychological Covert War on Hip Hop, you'll know that I've always said that some strange things are going to be happening, especially the blood sacrifice happened between March and May. Go back and dig up some of my lectures, and I'm telling you, this is what it is. It happens between March and May, and sure enough, like clockwork, we lose our brother. All right, and this is just not healthy for the spirit. We don't need this for our people, as far as music is concerned, our culture is concerned, as far as black people are concerned. A brother like this that have gave us so much and done so much for so many. This is one of those kind of situations where we just got to tough this show out, so to speak. If y'all could just kind of roll with me and kind of help me and roll with the punches, all right? So I want to be able to try to get through this show without having to get into this debate and this cognitive dissonance that may go on in some of our spirit. Baruti put something up on his page today. It says, "We the willing, led by the unknown, are doing the impossible for the ungrateful. We have done so much with so little for so long. We are now qualified to do anything with nothing." And he put unknown author. And traveling with Baruti this weekend in Walimuke Bamani Baruti, we had this deep discussion in the airport. And I'm finding a lot of our conversations now surrounding around airports because we're bumping into one another as we travel to do the work that we're doing for our people. And we like to, the task is huge. The laborers are few. And even with the laborers that are there soldiering, the sincerity among the few people that are out there, it's not good. Some of the people out there for vain, egotistical purposes. Some people are out there just to see how many likes they can get on Facebook and, and how many followers they have and that kind of stuff. And that's not what this is for, brothers and sisters. So with that said, I'm going to dive right into this. But before I do that, I want to thank all of our brothers and sisters in Dallas, Texas. Myself, Professor Griff, Professor Smalls, Iranimu K. Bamani Baruti, my brother, David Banner. We were there on Saturday. And straight up, brothers and sisters, I'm saluting Dallas right now. Brothers turned up, showed up, and showed the hell out. They was there in force, and they stayed for the entire 8 hours. And I'm like, wow, it was a beautiful thing. David Banner closed it out. Young people came out, even though we had the the elder sandwich between me and David Banner. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing because the people sat and we took pictures, we hugged, we shared information. The vendors were out, and thanks to Damon from Sankofa Talks and Sankofa Global, Damon and his family, Damon Fields, actually put it together and made it happen. I heard Houston is next, so Houston, get yourself prepared. We're coming that way to make some things happen. I'm headed towards New Orleans this weekend to participate in the Abney Effect because the brother is doing the damn thing. I'm going to play a few commercials, but before I do that, let the brothers and sisters know that I am going to be speaking at a bookstore in New Orleans on Saturday, and then later on that night, I'm going to participate in the Abney Effect, and we're going to do aspects of my lecture dealing with the music industry. We're going to be doing it over some live jazz music, man. It's a jazz cipher. It's a lecture jazz cipher that we're going to have, and we just ask the people. It's a RSV, reserve your damn tickets. Pardon me. I couldn't even get that out. It's not a private affair, but hey, you got to call ahead and let us know you coming because we got to make room. If you bring in a big ass tuba, then we got to know to make room for you. So, but bring your instruments and come on. It's a cipher. We're just going to get in the circle and we're going to make it happen. We're going to break some bread. There's going to be some food there. DJ, MCs are going to be in the house. And I'm going to try to get there on Friday so I can hang out with the Roots down at the Jazz Festival in New Orleans. All right? So if y'all want to meet me there, just hit me up. My phone number is 678-557-2919. All right, tonight we're going to talk about Prince. We're going to talk about Purple Rain, musicology, and the Illuminati's blood sacrifice. Brothers and sisters, I don't want to have this conversation in a vacuum. As a matter of fact, let's listen to Controversy, right? One of the first songs that I think got my attention, and I think the other one was I Want to Be Your Lover. And then to know that there was a young guy that's playing this music and that's producing this music and wrote these songs at a young age, and then come to find out that he played all the daggone instruments. I'm like, who? What? Really kind of unheard of. But I know some people like that now. You understand what I'm saying? Mario Abney is one of them, and some other people out there. When I found out that Stevie Wonder was playing drums on some of his songs, I was like, okay. All right. But this is one of those kind of songs where even with this song, if you really listen to the lyrics and kind of piece it apart, he was answering some of those questions about his whole idea of, this androgynistic kind of people and the way people looked at him, not knowing what religion. Some people look at him like whether or not he's gay or bisexual or everything. All these things were in question. You understand what I'm saying? And this is one of the songs that he wrote in reference to some of that controversy, some of those things. So if you really listen to what he's saying in this song, this kind of speaks to people want to die so they can be at peace. There was a statement that that was put out. They said by Prince, and I'm waiting for a few people to call me because I don't want y'all to think that this is coming from the narrow lens of Professor Griff. All right. They said that Prince put out a statement that says basically just, hold up, save your prayers. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm good. So I'm going to show up at the party. I'm going to let y'all see me. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to do basic, natural, regular things that the average day person does, like taking a walk to Walmart or Wally World or Walgreens, wherever they saw him at, and riding my bike through the neighborhood. I still want to have a party. Everything is good. You understand what I'm saying? So people can stop speculating. And that, I don't even want to get into that damaging tabloid kind of mess that they put out overseas. I received some stuff from overseas about Prince. And a lot of times when you get the news from outside sources outside of America, they tend to view things a lot different than how we view things. I've read some of the occult, what the occult people are saying on that side, and basically getting to the whole idea of having to be sacrificed during this time. And even so much so, I'm going to play something that I hope the brother that said it to me don't mind. People say that he was a Jehovah's Witness, and from what I've heard from Prince, just understanding and listening to him myself, this this is not the language of a Jehovah's Witness. I've never heard a Jehovah's Witness get that deep in reference to metaphysics and this kind of thing. So I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe some Jehovah's witnesses can call, and we can have that discussion. I don't mind, but I've had personal relationships with a few Jehovah's Witnesses, and never heard them dive into the occult, and never heard them dive into metaphysics and any of those things. So I'm just curious to know if he was a Jehovah's Witness. I don't hear it and I don't see it, not only in the songs, the performances, the few little things that they say Jehovah's Witnesses are supposed to do and not supposed to do. Okay, I'm not talking about going through the motions. I'm not talking about blood transfusions and that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Prince lived a very private life, and a lot of us that are around very few people but perform in front of hundreds of thousands of people normally do. It's just one of those kind of things where I could be very honest with y'all. I could probably count the people on two hands that I even encounter when I come home. I don't see a lot of people. I may talk to some people on the phone, but I don't see a lot of people. And I like it that way simply because I do have a life. I am somebody's father. I am somebody's grandfather. And I think that we need to kind of look at it and kind of be respectful of that. I let the audience in Dallas know that, I have 186 people blocked in my phone just for being disrespectful, calling me at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and they act as though I owe them something. I'm like, no, I gave you my phone number because I want to cut out the middleman. I want to be able to dialogue with people and talk to people directly. That's not a license to call me and disrespect me 4 o'clock in the morning. All right, so let's just be very real. I want to be very real with y'all and upfront about that. So I am open as as a lot of artists are open. But when you are married to your work, when you have gone through what this man has gone through in reference to losing children, unless in reference to being separated from people that you love, ex-wives and band members, and and then having someone that's close to him that passes away, I think it takes a toll on you. And like boxers, like martial artists, like singers, like entertainers, even like myself. This is April 26th. In 3 more days, this would have been a year since I've had my car accident. I've been suffering with the pain that I'm in for an entire year. And most of y'all that have seen me this year and have met me and shaken my hand and hung around me, you would never know that I was in pain. But know that, I'm not going to take as much as a daggone Tylenol or what's that other thing that Aleve. That's probably the strongest it gets for me if I take that. But that's it for me. You understand what I'm saying? I'm sure you can't OD on Aleve. I'm not sure, according to Cat Williams. Some other stuff is going on, but I'm not sure if you can. But I am going to discuss these things in New Orleans and Chicago in June and a few other places. All right. So I think we need to kind of keep the phone lines open. I'm going to look for a few people that I asked to call just to give us an update. Now, mind you, these are not people I'm asking to call that's going to give you the official Prince story on CNN like never before. And I think there might be a gag order. I mean, a personal one, an in-house gag order, because some of the people, they're not accessible anymore. Someone had to tell them, look, be quiet about it, because they're just absolutely. And I'm sure you heard what TMZ had to say, and I'm sure you've heard the story that they're trying to spin about him having AIDS and this kind of thing. Stop that. No. So, all of this is happening at the same time where we've had a string of people that we've lost. And just bear with me for a second because I get kind of choked up when mentioning these ancestors. We lost Fife Dog recently, all right, from the tribe. We've lost Dr. Francis Cress Welsing recently. And this kind of stuff is weighing on me, all right? So we've lost Delbert Blair. We've lost Chuck D's dad, all right? We've lost Natalie Cole. We lost a brother from the Whispers. We lost a brother, Maurice White, from Earth, Wind, and Fire. All right. Now, all of this year, all right, this year. So let's just keep in mind that is a lot. That is a lot of energy, a lot of people, a lot. Most of these people, as a matter of fact, all of these people except for Natalie Cole, I've met and spent time with and talked to. So yeah, it's critical. I often in my lecture joke about the conversation I had backstage with Prince, me having to bend down to talk to him, and it's critical when you kind of have interacted with these people and then to know that you'll never be able to talk to these people again. And ever since last Thursday, I think every day I've played a Prince song, just my way of just kind of remembering in my own way. So I'm revealing part of myself. All right, so I'm going to play. I played this song probably a dozen times since last Thursday, but this is one of my favorite, all-time favorite Prince songs. Just kind of bear with me. All right, can we do this? All right, that was Diamonds and Pearls, and that was probably one of my favorite Prince songs. Matter of fact, it is. The other ones, if I play, you'll be like, dude, you like that song? I'll be like, yeah, there's a writer side of me. Of course, there's layers to all of us, but, there's a writer side of me, a softer side, very hardcore, militant, radical side, a warrior side, but, it's one of those kind of like, all right, it's taught to me on a metaphysical level when I was taught certain aspects of dealing with esoteric teachings of certain things, especially aspects of the scripture, that they said Jesus had 12 disciples. But the way it was taught to me on an esoteric level was you are the Jesus, and you have 12 sets of emotions. All right, 12 different aspects of you. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, when you start talking about, and of course you have different sets of emotions, but a lot of us only use a few, maybe two. You're as happy, and you're as angry, mad, want to kill somebody. Of course, we get sad sometimes, and on the way to. But anyway, I have someone that should be on the line right now that we're going to dive into deeper aspects. Now, mind you, these are not people that are the official spokespeople of what happened with Prince, but we need to talk about it. Sean, are you there?
Yes, sir. How you doing, man?
All right, maintain. Let me tell you who's Sean Carter. Sean Carter, I've been working with you how long now, Sean?
Man, we almost going on 30 years, right?
About that long in the Public Enemy camp. There's a lot of people that's in and around the camp. And out of the camp, I've been working, and Sean is one of those kind of individuals. Sean was very instrumental in getting me the deal. Help me out, Sean, with the
Right
deal
Stuff, which was Right Stuff Records, which was a subsidiary of Capitol Records.
Capitol Records deal, right. And this was back when?
2001.
2001. That's right. As a matter of fact, because when I finished the album in record time and I involved local musicians and just the people I knew, people said that's the best album I've ever made. And that album was called And the Word Became Flesh. It sat on the shelf.
Very spiritual album, I can just say, Griff. It was a very spiritual album.
Oh, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. It sat on the shelf and it did wood. And why is that, Sean? Because it came out that Tuesday, I believe, September 11th.
It came out September 11th.
And when the building came down, no one was trying to hear anything, especially what I put down on that album. But anyway, above and beyond that, Sean has been working. I've been working with Sean for a minute now. And tell him the other people that you're kind of close to, Sean, and that you work and are close to the fact that you got this news so early, because you were the one that told me, and I damn near hung up on you. I was like, man, get out of here. Stop playing. Prince ain't died. You talking about Prince? You understand? Ain't Sean?
Yes, right.
Prince. I'm like, come on, bro. Stop playing. Matter of fact, I'm going to hang up, call me back, and let's start this conversation over. And sure enough, he called me back. Right. He's like, oh, Prince is dead, man. I'm like, damn. So tell me.
I woke up to the news, man.
John, go on. I'm sorry. Go on.
Yes, sir. No, yes, sir. Yes, sir. First of all, thank you. It's always an honor to be on your program, sir. My brother. Yeah, I got a call from Kurt Johnson, who actually Prince's drummer. Those that remember are familiar with Kirky J, MPG, New Power Generation drummer, and also one of Prince's closest friends. So my wife kind of woke me up and asked me, what's going on at Paisley Park? And I had no idea what she was talking about. She said she was on the internet and she read a report saying that police are at Paisley Park and there's a coroner there. Somebody has died. Well, I'm not taking anything away from this, so I immediately get on my computer and I'm Googling, and there's a report that there's a problem at Paisley Park. Well, as soon as I was about to refresh and just go internet surfing and trying to think about who can I contact, and I didn't even have Kurt's number, and I was surprised Kurt still had my number. I get a call from him, and he said, I don't want you to hear this from no one else, but we found Prince unresponsive.
Okay, let's speed this up, man. So let me get this right.
Yes, sir.
So you're on the phone with Kurt. They said they found him unresponsive. Now, the few people that I've talked to and what I've read, they found him in the studio. They found him at home. They found him in the elevator. What is it that you got from Kurt or from reliable sources?
Right. He was found in the elevator. His home is his studio. He has a suite. He built a suite at Paisley Park, where after he records, he goes there, and he also has a little mini studio in there as well. And an elevator, one little area is the elevator that leads right to the suite. They found him in the elevator. My understanding from those that I spoke with is that they were trying to contact him. He never responded. So I don't know who they were. One I do know was they called Kurt, and Kurt was on his way. They were on their way to his suite, and that's when they found him slumped out in the elevator, unresponsive.
All right. The question that I think I talked to you about the other day, who was the one on the 911 call? Because that character didn't know what the hell he was talking about. Who was that?
Well, the person, the 911, we don't know. No one is I asked that question myself. And unfortunately, everyone has become closed-mouthed. I don't know if this gentleman, Prince kept, of course, an engineer and a very small group of people, normally are his closest friends, there at the studio. However, we don't know. No one's given me a name, or did this person work there or what? I found it very incredible that you work there and you don't know the address.
That's what I got it from the 911 caller. They called, and when the 911 operator said, well, what is the address? He didn't know. That person didn't know the address. So
didn't know the address, didn't even know the street.
And that's the one that's calling 911 because they found him unresponsive. Now, it's hard for me to believe that he could have just said Paisley Park, and there's not too many places called Paisley Park, and people would know that.
He could have even said, Griff, he could have even said, I don't even know the address. I know it's on Audubon Road. That I do remember.
Okay, but that's beside the point that I'm making, Sean. If he would have just said something that everyone knows.
Right.
If I'm at Prince's house, hell, I got some friends, I go to their house, shit, I don't know their address. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I got an idea. I can't tell you the address, but I'm saying if I went to Babyface's studio, you understand what I'm saying? If I went to, the Public Enemy studio, all I gotta do is where the Public Enemy studio sits in Roosevelt. Roosevelt is only 1 square mile. If I said the Public Enemy studio near the high school, people wouldn't know.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? So
that's right.
Yeah, that's but listen, okay, so he leaves Atlanta, and I've gotten reports from people that I know in Atlanta because they invited me to the show. I was just extremely busy and exhausted trying to get this book done. I didn't go out, but they said he did a couple of encores. And they said the 2 performances, was 80, 90 minutes long, and he was healthy, he was fine after he canceled the other shows. And he made up for that.
Right.
Got on the plane, back now, he's headed towards Minneapolis, but he had to make an emergency stop because he was unresponsive on the plane. And even I've heard that 911 call. I'm just saying to myself, either these some imbeciles or they just, I don't know. I think they were too damn calm for me, first of all. Not to say that I'd have been over kind of excited and, crazy on the phone with the operator, but they was just too, but when they got him there, I heard from you and 3 other people, which I'm not going to mention, that the shot that they gave Prince was called the save shot. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Simply because, now I'm just saying this is not actual fact, I'm just saying this, simply because they were told that he was taking Percocet. This is the reason why they gave him the save shot. Now, do you know what the save shot is?
I have no idea what the save shot is. However, in my reading is that the only time that they give you a save shot is that if you have OD'd on, per se, Percocet, or a very strong drug such as opium, just using that as an example, to resuscitate you and bring you back to life. That save shot cleanses your body of any drugs, anything that was in your body at that time.
Okay. Okay. So now he's got the save shot, and they're asking the people around him, could he stay? He needs to be hospitalized, and simply because they want to keep an eye on him and watch him at least for 48 hours. All right, I know that much. My mom was an RN. They said they didn't have enough room at that particular hospital, so he couldn't stay.
Right.
Put him back on the plane, took him home, and several days later, he's dead. After the party, after they seen him in the parking lot, not the parking lot, but at Walgreens, filling a prescription that they gave him at the hospital.
4 times.
Excuse me?
4 times. First, according that he was there 4 times that same day.
Okay, let's not speculate. Let's not assume.
Yeah, no,
I've been
exactly.
to CVS 5 times because when I went there, the prescription wasn't ready, or whatever the situation could have been. That doesn't indicate that I'm going back and forth to keep refilling this prescription to get more drugs.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Just think clear about this. All right. So now, let me just throw this out there. Do you, and I'm just asking you, this is not actual fact, but I'm asking you, do you think that they had something to do with Prince's death in reference to him getting his masters back?
When we're saying they, are we referring to?
I'm talking about they, the powers that be, they. Those the same they that I'm talking about that killed Michael Jackson, the same they that was responsible for Sam Cooke was murdered, the same they that knocked off a few other people. They, Jimi Hendrix, and I could go on and on, but they.
I would say 100% yes.
When I hear you and other people...
Here's what I want to say, Griff, to that. Number one, to keep on with this whole flu-like symptoms. No, we know no one dies from a flu.
Right.
Or flu-like symptoms. Second of all, there's some major questions that I have as far as the people around him. If he is not doing well, we know that he had hip surgery 7 or 5 years ago. I can't remember the actual year.
Right. Okay.
But if he was in this much pain, where are your friends or your so-called closest friends, and why wasn't a physician traveling with him?
Right.
If he got off the plane and, as per se, from the doctor in Moline, Illinois, where the emergency stop was, if he was not doing well when he left, if he checked himself out, I don't know. That's back to what?
Right.
Then there's somebody slipped up. If he got off that plane 3 hours later back to Minneapolis, shouldn't there have been somebody immediately taking him to or contacting his physician and having his physician, personal physician, there immediately to tend to him? And somebody should have been watching him.
Right. You're talking about at Paisley Park, right?
At Paisley Park, yes.
Right. So from the airport to Paisley Park, and his personal physician coming to reevaluate him. Okay, right, absolutely.
Exactly. Yes,
to the point where he doesn't have to go out to Walgreens. You understand what I'm saying?
Doesn't have to go out to Walgreens, not at all. Right. And you riding a bike, and then you're riding a bike less than 24 hours. After you come back, there's a picture of him riding a bike. He announces a party at Paisley Park. People see him. He said he looked fine. I don't think that you tapped on this. I don't know if you have even mentioned this, but if it's okay with you, I just want to mention the cryptic message that he left on the day of his. We don't know what time this message was left on his Instagram. What does it mean? Two things that he said at the party. One,
okay, let's see.
Yes, say, don't waste your applause or don't waste your prayers for me for several more days. Hold on to him for several more days. And then he also posted an Instagram post that was immediately taken down that said, just when you thought you were safe.
And it was up and then it was down. Now listen, I had someone following one of the Twitter things that he used, and that was the third eye girl something. But you said this was on the Prince. This was on the Prince.
He changed this third eye girl. He changed his third eye girl Twitter page to just Prince, but he also had an Instagram page, which was just Prince, and that's where he posted that cryptic message.
Okay, now what is this? Not only the cryptic message, but what is it that they're saying that was in? Not only it was a tweet or Instagram or something else he said that's swirling around. A lot of which it's hard for me to believe, because if you go to the hospital, they give you a shot. You go home, you find you ride your bike, you go into a party. It is difficult for me to kind of, think that you're just the next day you're going to be found dead. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
I have a question how this was handled by the people that are close to him. I have questions, and those questions are not being answered, and people have all of a sudden gone. Well, I'm not going to say all of a sudden, But I believe that they have been informed to be closed now.
All right, do me a favor. If you have a few minutes while I take a break and come back, can you take care, put your groceries up, whatever you're doing? Because can you just sit tight? Can you sit tight for a minute?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna put you on hold for 1 second, and that's Sean Carter, in touch with a few people there that is getting information from over the last few days. I've been talking to a handful of people, and of course I'm gonna reveal the deeper aspect of Professor Griff and my I've all kind of Prince stuff. So, but this is one of the other songs that y'all will probably be surprised. That's probably my number 3 song of Prince that I like. All right, so just check it out. But no, Prince is difficult to even pick a set of Prince songs that you like because it's just so many kind of different times. Signs of the Times is probably that album, but that new Power Generation with Diamonds and Pearls and some of those songs, you can't deny that stuff, not at all. And the 1, 2, 3 times I've actually seen him in concert, and the one time I actually got a chance to kind of go backstage after set, kick it with him. Well, let me be honest. It was Thanksgiving. Chuck D dragged me out of the studio. I went to the concert, hung out, went to the after set. We went up on stage. We was talking about Thanksgiving, and he kind of pointed at me, pointed to the microphone. I took to the microphone. This is in the ATL. Did my little piece. I said, okay, let me not get too deep. And I bounced. You understand what I'm saying? Went backstage. We had a discussion. I left it alone. But anyway, we're going to bring Sean Carter back up, and we're going to continue this conversation about Prince. And then there's one song I want to dedicate to that little one that I love. All right? And we're going to dive into that in a second. But Sean, now let's get back to this real quick. Are you there?
I'm here, Griff. Before you even start, I'll never forget that Thanksgiving night at in the ATL. That was me, you, and Chuck. Went to the show and then went to the after parties. You brought back memories, brother.
Yeah. So let me ask you. So now this whole idea of him getting his master's back. Now listen, I used to teach and use Prince in my lecture in reference to him wearing the word slave on his face. And I used to tell the people that he wore slave on his face simply because Warner Brothers, and I tried to warn the brother that he wore slave on his face simply because they owned his name and they owned his likeness because of those contracts that they have you sign. This man's name given to him by his mom and dad, his name is Prince, right? So how could they own that? And that's critical, man. That's really critical when you really look at the dynamic of what we're dealing with. We're talking about a man just wanting to be free. All right. Now, to my understanding, it was a black woman. It was a sister who wasn't even a lawyer that helped him get his catalog back. Is that true?
Actually, it was not her. I forgot the sister's name, but also that was very, very important in him getting his master's back was attorney. His name was Rondell McMillan, who was very, very instrumental in getting his master's back. And Griff, you brought up a great point. Is that the reason why he wrote slave on his face? Because pretty much is that, as you said, is that they owned him. He couldn't even control the amount of music that he wanted to put out. They controlled when they wanted him to release an album. He felt completely, like he said, a slave.
Right. So let me understand this. So now he's on the label. He's making the music. They're controlling what he can put out, when he can put it out, and this kind of thing. But I heard from reliable sources that he kept making music. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
He kept making music, and he had, I said hundreds. Jason Orr and a few other people corrected me. Said no, brother, thousands. They said he had thousands of songs in the vault. You understand what I'm saying? That he was protecting. And at one time, I even heard that he threatened to burn the damn vault down. before they get anything. How true are these things that people are saying?
I've personally seen the vault. I haven't been inside of it. I think is that in the number, as we may want to look at it now, I would put it more closer to about 200,000 of unreleased.
Wait, 200,000 songs?
200,000 songs. The vault. I remember when I was there, the vault was pretty much, it was filled. It was filled. They were in the process of creating another vault because of the output that he was putting out. In fact, when I was there at Paisley Park, I'll never forget the day that he asked me, "Hey, how long am I staying?" And said, "Listen, I want you to stay around. I want to play some music for you." And he called me. Yeah, he called me, and we went to his office, and he played some material. And at this time, he was working on re-releasing the album called Raid Unto the Joy Fantastic, which was released on Arista Records. He was redoing it as Raid Into the Joy Fantastic. So he remixed and reinvented some of the songs, which is the album that actually Chuck is on, the song entitled Undisputed. And he played that album for me that he was working on, and also played me, which blew my mind, he played me an unreleased version of Kiss.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think Chuck contacted me, and I think I talked to Kyle Jason, who said they went there. Yeah. And they was about to do a song with Prince. Yeah. Okay, so now with the deal that the Michael Jackson Foundation, the deal that they made with whoever they made it with, the figure that people called me and told me that they were supposed to receive was, I believe, $757 million. And the few people that I talked to, they said, "Wow, that's a lot of money." I said, "No, if you're talking about Michael Jackson's catalog, that is chump change. That's petty cash."
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? To a broke Negro, $757 million is a lot of money. But when you kind of dealing with music that's global on a Michael Jackson, Prince, James Brown, kind of Stevie Wonder kind of level, no, that is pocket change, man. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But,
that's right.
That may sound like a lot of money to the Jackson family, who are working but not working to that capacity. That may sound like a lot of money to Prince's sister. Now she is the beneficiary or the heir to Prince's legacy, his things, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so that may sound like a lot of money to her 2 years from now, because you know how this devil works. This devil will let it sit for a minute. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And then find some clause somewhere, some old contract somewhere, and say, "Well, listen, you know, you have to turn over the songs." You understand what I'm saying? And somebody might turn them over, which I think is very sad. So I'm saying one of the songs that I think that was sent to me, I don't want to mention the brother's name. I'm going to let the cat out the bag. One of the songs that was sent to me was a song called One Song. Have you heard that?
One Song, yes.
Let me see if I could pull it up and play it. I'm not sure in my little system that if the song would even play. Brothers and sisters, can y'all sit tight, because I'm sure this is something y'all probably haven't heard before. I'm going to try to play it from, and if things go haywire here, just hang on, Sean. Let me see if I can play this song, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
1 second. Let me see if I can play it from iTunes. Let me see. All right, I'm gonna try to just play it from my computer. Hold on. Let me see if it'll play.
1999. The illusion.
Can you hear that, Sean?
One best ever.
I can hear.
All right, brothers and sisters, just sit tight. I need y'all to get into a meditative state. This is Prince. All right? All right.
Many places of refuge one can flee from this insanity. Very few of mankind's creations are designed to make you feel good. unless you get pleasure from seeing the human body desecrated by guns, explosions, fights, and any other thing these so-called artists create. In the name of freedom, many have used art as a means to destroy the human mind. As an excuse to continue, we hear, art reflects society. How many times has this lie been repeated? Creations are not real, they say, and yet any one of these people can call to mind images and complete scenes of horror and graphic detail. They will carry these so-called unreal creations around with them for the rest of their lives. These images are now a part of their being. In the name of recreation, these people in fact are recreating themselves in their own images. Society then reflects art. In man's decision to further separate from God, his recreation of himself leaves him in a dysfunctional state of confusion. The mind becomes a burial ground for dead waste. Isolated from the wholeness of God, earth, and his fellow brothers and sisters, this man seeks solace in activity. Man-made creations designed to destroy it. All man-made creations originate from one of two sources, the tree of knowledge or the tree of life. One of these trees contains deadly fruit, the other, fruit of everlasting life. The one who disregards this fact recreates himself and his kind into extinction. You are reading these words on a machine created by man. As you read, you hear a voice speaking to you the words that you perceive. They make sense to you because you understand. Stand under the spelling. The words are what binds the spell to your illusion. When you hear the truth, like a memory, you recognize it, and this recognition releases you from all illusion. Many languages are brilliant in their attempt to confuse you. Con meaning against, fuse meaning together. Words in their spell-binding illusions have the power to keep man separate from God. You were born in an all-knowing state of mind. The first words spoken to you begin the spell. The words come from one of two sources, the tree of knowledge or the tree of life. In ignorance or simply lack of respect for God, many use words that confuse the minds of humans and turn them into projections of their own illusions. Because of this fact, many people grow up and blindly assume their pre-selected role under a dictatorship without even being aware of it. When asked what they are doing here on earth, most will answer with statements that do not reflect their natural God-given desires. This creates a pyramid-like structure with the dictator on top and each level under it knowing less and less. Upon reaching the bottom level, where the majority is, you will find chaos, disorder, and illusion. With ill as its prefix, illusion is a state of insanity. In the name of democracy, supreme power is vested unto the people in this insane state instead of God. A future recreated to be ruled by man is one of isolation and despair. Returning the leadership back into God will allow mankind to achieve its original collective goal, which is union with God. Ideas contrary to this goal should not be blamed or persecuted, just simply ignored. They originated when man first chose to ignore God's rule. Simply put, in the beginning the human was made perfect in God's image. They had no need for knowledge. They were also given freedom of choice. The tree of knowledge and the tree of life are reflections of this freedom. The human is now a reflection of their choice. They could have simply chose not to choose. God being centrifugal in nature, freedom was the cause, and choice was the effect. In knowing their perfection made in God's image, there was no need to choose. In fact, there were no needs. There was only love in an all-knowing state before the fall. The worst thing you can do is give up your God-given right to choose. For in it, you can choose not to choose. Therein is the final judgment. The illusion ceases, and you awaken from your dream. Now the healing begins.
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. All right. That was Prince. That was from the vault. All right. Yeah. Hold on. Let me bring Sean back in. Mr. Sean Carter.
Man, the song of a man free, wasn't it? Free man.
Exactly. And I think when you are released from those 85-page contracts that they kind of enslave you with in the music industry, and a lot of people listening know what I'm talking about because they had them same kind of contracts. You understand what I'm saying? These are the contracts that people get shot over on the West Coast and other places in those labels, and the things that the people are going through in the music industry. But this is what it is, plain and simple. That dynamic, as far as the music industry, that needs to change. That needs to change. Period, man. But anyway, so let's sum this up, man. So now what has to happen now? Because I'm watching the news. People are calling me. People are texting me, and I'm trying to put it all together. All right. Hold on for a second. I was derelict in my duties to let people know that's just tuning in. So now I'm watching on the news and I'm hearing who's going to control the estate. What's going to happen to the songs? Just his effects and what's going to happen with Paisley Park and all of this kind of stuff. And then what the perplexing thing, not the material stuff, but the perplexing thing on my mind is, are they going to remix the legacy of Prince like they did Michael Jackson, or like they did with Malcolm X?
They're already trying to. They're already trying to.
How is that?
Well, I mean, is that what's the first thing? As soon as one of our greats die, the first thing that starts coming out is drugs.
Right.
We're hearing about, there's all of a sudden somebody that, did an interview, not even 24 hours from our brother passing on to the ancestors, of him being Prince's own personal drug dealer since 1983, 84.
I think I read that. Dr. D you're talking about?
Some doctor, he only wants to give his name, Dr. D. Exactly.
Yeah.
Giving insight to how much, Prince was a pill popper because he had anxiety of stage fright. Right.
And these things that I read was so very difficult for me to believe. A man like Prince, stage fright, stop that, man. Stop that. But I have to play this song because I got to dedicate this to this little one that I'm in love with. So I'm going to...
Before you do, Griff, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
You and myself, Chuck, been around Prince many a time. Face to face with him, had conversations.
Right.
When we were backstage with him, and many times, did you notice any type of, as far as somebody that was high, whether it was on pills or anything?
Oh, no. He didn't play that. I mean, if the man wouldn't even allow cell phones in his spot, I'm sure he wasn't going to allow drugs and all that other. No, not at all.
Right. We couldn't even take a picture with him.
Right.
So, and if I can say this to your audience, this is another thing that I do know. You couldn't even in Paisley Park. It doesn't matter who you were. You were getting checked security-wise. You couldn't come in there with cigarettes, alcohol, blunt, anything. He didn't accept that. He didn't allow that in his camp or anyone in his camp. He did not accept that.
Right. All right, I got to get to this song because it's the 9:29 hour. Let me get to this song, and this is dedicated to someone very, very special to me, and one of them kind of individuals you meet or Sean, that just steals your heart. I'm gonna send this one out to her, and there's a lot of people.
You want to name drop, man? You want to name drop?
You want me to name drop? Yes.
Her
name is Bet X. Her mom called her LaJoy. Is my granddaughter. Beautiful little girl. All right, so I gotta play this. I gotta play this song for her. And it's just one of those kind of rare kind of things that I guess we all have to kind of sooner or later come to terms with. That when the little ones kind of come on the planet, we got to make room. Not only your life, but your heart, your head, cookie jar, whatever it is, that you just have to just kind of make it happen. All right, so Sean, you still there? I got to wrap this up, man, because I'm shutting it down at the 10 o'clock.
Sir.
I was going to do 3 hours, but I said to myself, the occult information that I have surrounding what went on with Prince, I think I'm going to save that for the lecture. I don't want people to not hear it in totality, because when you start talking about, what do you call it? When you start talking about the occult science, when you start talking about esoteric meaning to this, that, or the other, people get kind of spooky, man. And I've heard some people, oh, here Griff go again with that metaphysical stuff and blah, 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 and whatever. I'm like, okay, well, it is what it is, man. You understand what I'm saying? When Prince when he wrote slave on his face, right? He did that for a reason. And we have to understand that. At the same time, he said he wanted to be known as the artist formerly known as, but he went by a symbol. And isn't it ironic that the symbol that he chose was the Ankh, which represented the Holy Trinity, the Mother, Father, and the Child? If those out there know what the Ankh truly means, all right? But isn't it ironic that he chose purple? And if people understand what the color purple means, we could tie these things together. We just heard one song. The name of the song is One Song from the Vault. Can you imagine? That's not no Jehovah's Witness stuff. You understand that what that man was dropping? You understand what I'm saying? That
not at all.
Stuff, and that was extremely deep. That went beyond what those people teach in that cult. You understand what I'm saying? And cult is not a bad word, brothers and sisters. Don't get it twisted. Cult is the root word to culture. All right? So we need to keep these particular things in mind. I got a call from the Chocolate Wonder, Peaches, down in Florida. And she told me that she's online looking, and they're already up in the vault, and they're showing pictures in a man's house and all this other kind of stuff, man. But you see how these bloodthirsty demons are? This is how these people operate, man. This is exactly how these people operate. It is a very real dynamic. And we need to understand this about these people. This is who and what these people are. All right? And we need to keep this in mind and don't put it past them, because this is exactly who they are. So you got any last words, Sean, on this? I know this is a part 1, 2, and 3 kind of thing that I know I need to do, but for the few short minutes, tell us something that they're actually not putting in the news. What actually? I remember you and I was talking. You said there's a gag order now. People are not talking in this camp.
Yeah, I mean, people are what I call fade to black. They basically have disappeared. Again, the most important, I want to know who this person was that made the 911 call. What was his duties at Paisley Park? Who was he? How did you not know? How did you not know the address? We're the one that made that call.
Right. I think there's a lot of questions. A lot of questions that are being asked by the average person that the people on the Alphabet Boys are not asking. The Fox News and MSNBC and all these, they're not asking the questions that I know I'd be asking. You understand what I'm saying? But
That's
sure
right.
enough, man,
That's right.
You turn on Forensic Files or ID Channel or one of these, shows tonight. I mean, hell, you can drop a fly can drop a pubic hair 20 years ago. They'll find it, analyze it, and find the killer who killed the damn fly. You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
But now we got to wait weeks and weeks for a toxicology report to figure out what was in this man's system that probably could have killed him. But I really appreciate you coming on and just offering what you can offer. In the meantime, Sean, I'm putting together aspects of this lecture that I'm doing, and I'm going to deal with this musicology, murder, madness, and mayhem in the music industry. All right? It's one of them chapters of my book, The Psychological Over War on Hip Hop. But I really appreciate you, man.
Well, Griff, as always, man, I appreciate you as well. And I'm sure as your listeners, this is my brother. And to all the people that love Prince, I think, we got to demand the truth. We need to find out what really happened. And Griff, I commend you not only for this program, today's program, but I commend you for the work that you diligently do for the past 25, 30 years.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Oh, give thanks. I really appreciate that. All right, good brother. We'll talk, man.
Yes, sir. Peace.
All right, peace. One of the brothers sent me a text message, and he said, "Good day, Professor Griff, with a sad day in music. As a follower of your lectures, just want to know if these three icons of music deaths ending in 6 or 9, does it mean anything? James Brown, R.I.P. 2006. Michael Jackson, R.I.P. 2009. R. Nelson, R.I.P. 2016. And just to let that brother know, to answer your question on the air live, brother, yes, it does mean something. When you deal with spirit and you deal with spiral and spirit are kinship to one another. All right? Spiral and spirit are kinship to one another. And when you look at the spiral that spins, that means it's alive. Your fingerprint spirals, hair spirals, plants spiral because they're alive. All right. So when you're dealing with the 6 and the 9, if you look at I don't mean to get too deep, brothers and sisters, but the 6 spirals on a lower vibration and the 9 spirals on a higher vibration. I'm going to say that again. The 6 spirals at a lower vibration. This is why the number of the beast is the number of the man, and he has the number of 6. All right. It spins at a lower vibration, and the 9 spins at a higher vibration. What do you mean by that, Professor Griff? We're in 2016. 2, 0 is 2, plus 1 is 3, 3 and 6 is 9. All right. This is the year of completion. All right. 9. The baby's born in 9 months. There's 9 planets, 9 systems of the body. We can go on and on with the numerology, but just know that 9 spins at a higher vibration, activating the crown chakra. Everything that's hidden in the person this year, whether it's your loved ones, your children, whoever, that, be it good or bad, will be reflected in this year, and it'll come out. The scripture says, if it be the weight of an atom, atom is hidden in the rock, and the rock is hidden in the earth, yet Allah will bring it forth. This is the total manifestation of defect this year. All right? I think the scripture says, in the last days, every tongue shall confess and every knee shall bow. I say, you going to come willingly or unwillingly, but your ass going to come whether you want to or not. Everything hidden and that you're trying to keep hidden in your character will be manifested this year. And I think we need to understand that, and we need to go back and look at all of these brothers and sisters that made their transition into the ancestral realm, and we need to learn from their life experience. All right? And this is very real. I'm going to be honest with you. I can't take another one of our greats passing on. Right? I know death is part of life. I know I'm going to get text messages and emails, but come on, y'all. How are we going to go from Delbert Blair to Francis Cress Welsing, then Maurice White, Natalie Cole, Fife Dog, and then we're going to turn around and lose Prince? You understand what I'm saying? After knowing and understanding we lost James Brown, lost Michael Jackson, lost Don Cornelius, and they're hitting us in the heart of the culture. You understand what I'm saying? There's a lot for me to take, so I have to, in all fairness, be true to my inner self. And so, all right, this is Professor Griff, and I'm black here on Serious Minds Radio. I, with Serious Minds, attract serious minds. Seriously. All right. Tonight we talked just briefly and touched on basically this whole thing surrounding Prince. It's not over yet. The toxicology report is not in. They need to talk to the airplane pilot. They need to go to the hospital where they made the emergency stop. We need to talk to the engineer that was in the studio. You understand what I'm saying? If it was left up to me, we'd talk to everybody. You understand what I'm saying? The dude who filled the prescription at Walgreens, everybody. The nurses at the hospital, whoever found them, the dude that made the 911 call. everybody. That's what they would do if one of them passed away. You had to go back and watch some of these documentaries when Elvis passed away. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, they said they remember when Elvis passed gas, man. They captured the gas and studied it to see what he ate that day when he died. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to look into it just as critical. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's one of ours. All right? And we cannot let them 200,000 songs, or however many they are, that's in that daggone vault end up in the hands of people that was working against Prince, the ones that caused him to write slave on his face. The same ones that control the Michael Jackson Foundation. The same ones that control the James Brown Foundation. The same ones that control the Don Cornelius Foundation. The same ones who's trying to get their grubby little nasty-ass, blood-dripping-ass hands on Earth, Wind, and Fire's music. The same ones that's got their paws wrapped around Public Enemy's catalog. All right? So we have to be very, very careful of these demons, these lying lawyers. There's a few things I could call them, but I'm going to reserve that for the lecture. I'm going to be lecturing in New Orleans this weekend. Just give me a call or go to my Facebook page, Facebook.com/Kavan Shaw, or go to Serious Minds Radio Facebook page, and I'll put the information up on there. All right. I'm putting together the necessary information to do Brother Richard's show tomorrow on this same subject, but of course, I'm going to kind of have to go in because there's some things that we just definitely need to talk about. Way beyond how they're spinning this particular story on CNN and these other. Now, mind you, they're about to release his films. They're about to put them back in the theater. How the hell can you do that 2 weeks ago when the man was living? You understand what I'm saying? Why couldn't they have done that then? And why is it that we always have to die in order to get this just due recognition? The man was beloved by nationalities. I mean, different people, ethnic groups across the globe. You understand what I'm saying? You know, I don't know too many people that's more popular than Prince on a global level. I don't know. Maybe y'all could tell me somebody. I don't know. But when you look at the amount of music and the people that you can compare Prince to, I'm going to be honest with you. There's no disrespect to anyone, but there's not too many people that I could honestly name, to be honest with you. When I think of the magnitude of the music that one man has given us, there's only a few people that come to mind. Of course, James Brown comes to mind. Of course, Michael Jackson comes to mind. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention a man who's made songs that, made some of us cry and some of us do some other things, and definitely caused us to, dance, party, and just have a good time. And that's Stevie Wonder. All right. To be honest with you, I'm just kind of hard pressed, and there's no disrespect to anyone. My phone number is 678-557-2919. For the few minutes we have on the show, maybe y'all could text me and let me know what other person, living or dead, has made an impact on us musically like that you could mention. Hold up, let me just give me a minute to search my storehouse of people that music, that magnitude, and that much music. I'm talking about quality and quantity, brothers and sisters, combined. I could say Earth, Wind, and Fire. Yeah. Hold on. What'd you say? What'd you say? Who? The Commodores? Lionel Richie and the Commodores? I don't know about. No, I don't know about that. No, not the Commodores. No. Damn, somebody's calling me. I ain't asked y'all to call me. I just asked y'all to text me. Commodores? Nah, Peach. Nah, no. Marvin Gaye. I'd say probably Motown, because I think the Temptations have given us more music than Marvin Gaye. Someone texted me and said Miles Davis. Someone said maybe Stevie Wonder. Yes. Someone said Tupac. Yes. Okay. All right. I'm feeling y'all. Yeah, I seen Miles Ahead, the movie about Miles Davis. Beautiful. Can we say Jimi Hendrix? Nah, Griff. Hino said, nah, Griff, we only have Stevie Wonder left. Wow. Yeah, Stevie Wonder's probably on that level, and I agree. I agree. Excuse me? You didn't think Stevie Wonder... Excuse me, hold on, put you on speaker. You didn't think that Stevie Wonder was on Prince's level? No. I'm putting you on speaker, but you out your rabbit ass mind. Stevie Wonder? Wait a minute, he's been getting down when he was little Stevie Wonder. Okay. Yes, he has. You understand what I'm saying? So, come on, stop that. Yeah, Stevie Wonder is definitely on Prince's level. Stop that.
He's on that level, yes. But I'm saying about as much as Prince has done, I don't know.
Okay, but we are talking about quality and quantity, and you could be right. We don't know. Stevie Wonder's still under the contract, so we don't know what Stevie Wonder has. But I would definitely say Stevie Wonder. And I'm not backing off of that. Thank you. And probably the Motown era and what Philly International gave us, what Philly International gave us out of Philly. And I could mention Stax and a few other record companies. But you have to say Jimi Hendrix, Tupac, Miles Davis, and definitely Stevie Wonder. All right. But in knowing that, we have to take into account the facilitation of the music via what Frankie Crocker gave us in New York or any other DJ gave us around the country. What you may not like me saying this, but what BET gave us in reference to how we facilitate, how we listen, how we hear, how we interact, how we see these people. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to take that into account. And this is where we have to mention the Don Corneliuses of the world when he gave us Soul Train, because he broke a lot of those artists. Y'all would have never known about Public Enemy if it wasn't for Don Cornelius. You understand what I'm saying? If it wasn't for other radio jocks and video DJs that played the videos and played the music. All right, so we definitely have to give credit to them. But in 10 years, are your children's children going to know who Prince is or was? Pardon me. We have to take these things into account. All right, and understand that it's such. But the whole idea of this Illuminati blood sacrifice, people are saying, well, maybe they killed him because to make a blood sacrifice for so and so. Stop that. No, Prince was way, way beyond that. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to talk about how long they kept Michael Jackson's body. All right, before the autopsy report came in. I believe it was almost a month. And then why they killed Prince after a few days. These are some of the questions I'm just throwing out there, asking people around me. All right? When you got to burn the body that damn quick, you trying to cover up something. All right? And those of y'all that are ID channel addicts and forensic file addicts, y'all know what I'm talking about. All right? And we need to be very real about this. And we need to, like Sean Carter said, we need to do our own investigation. What is wrong with that? All right? So, what is it that we scared to find out the truth in these kind of situations? Well, we cannot be afraid to find out the truth. I gotta play this commercial one more time because I want y'all to meet me in New Orleans, because I'm putting it down at that lecture in New Orleans, and I'm letting the cat out of the bag on a metaphysical level, on an esoteric level, and we're gonna talk about this Illuminati blood sacrifice and musicology of Prince and why they're saying the purple rain is over. All right, so I want y'all to meet me in New Orleans, and let's just put it down and make it happen. And I'm gonna make sure that people record it. So hell, just put it out there. Malcolm X said, when you throw a rock in a crowd of dogs, the only one that hollers the one that get hit. Shit, wherever the chips fall, let them fall. We got to say what we need to say, plain and simple. And I know some of y'all are texting me and y'all like, yo, you sure it's safe for you to be talking like that? You know they killed him for so-and-so and so-and-so. Well, we got to stop being goddamn cowards and say what the hell we need to say when we need to say it. Plain and simple. All right? And we need to make it very, very real and very apparent. Look, I know I'm marked. You understand what I'm saying? But I got to say what I got to say. They've tried several times, so I ain't afraid of that shit. A lot of y'all are too afraid of damn dying that y'all don't live. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of us, you understand what I'm saying? You're too afraid to live. All right? I'm not afraid of death. I'm not inviting it. Shit, I ain't sending out no damn application, no invitation. But I'm saying we got to say what we have to say and be man enough to say it. Hell, it was just put in me to say, I'm going to say it the way it needs to be said. Shoot.
YouTube.com/OpenUpYourMind101